All right, so we'll call a meeting to order. There's agenda here, but you guys know what you're doing here. And we will, since it is, well, did you get the minutes, Lynn, from January?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so do you have any comments on those? There was one typo I'll send over to them, but
No, nothing from me.
okay, anybody else?
It's just that one typo that I said.
You saw it too, yeah. Okay, so we'll need a motion to,
I make a motion to accept the meetings as read, with repairing the typo.
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Please.
He's a Marine, excuse.
All right, so those are passed. We don't have any bills, and the mail's we're gonna be dealing with a few issues here that are coming up. So then the Veterans Memorial Committee, oh, we'll need someone to take notes. You wanna take some notes? I got some.
Yeah.
I can
on
take
paper,
notes.
too.
I've got a notepad next to me.
Oh, good.
That way
All
we
right.
can be able to read them.
Excellent. All right, so you can start then. Do you want to get write down all the names of the members here and refresh my memory too? Your names were
Robert King.
Robert King,
Dan Forbes.
Dan Forbes,
Again.
Den Forbes,
Linda Ragasta.
Linda
Ragasta.
Ragasta, and
Bob Ketter.
Bob Ketter,
Jim Gallagher.
Jim Gallagher.
An Irish.
And so they're here from the Veterans Committee, and we're going to be talking to them, right? Veterans Memorial Committee. We'll be talking to them right now. I assume about QR codes and other stuff, right? I did get some information. This, you may want to just take one of these to take home. It's about QR codes and just it's a primer on QR codes. Just came across that. I also came across an article from, I guess we'll keep this for Ken then.
He's not gonna make it. He's back in.
Okay. Came across an article in Cohasset where this was just a news article for them, something new. But it's about they're putting QR codes on some of their gravestones in Cohasset. So we have to talk to those people, their cemetery board. There's some information on the back of this about pricing for one company too. These are just preliminary things. So you're welcome to take, I have 3 of those, and I'm sorry, the big paper, but it's the town hall. To take on.
This became keeper of the records.
So, what would you like to, I'll tell you where we are right now. Other than just this quick research that I did, and I've been on another project the last few weeks. I did talk to IT person, who I guess you talked to too, yes. And she said she didn't know anything about that. Go to our webmaster here at Town Hall. Webmaster is Jenna. And so I did. I went down to her and and she didn't know anything about, well, she didn't know much about QR codes. And I said, well, you could talk to our IT person, the head of IT, our vice president at Maritime Academy. And because she knows about them, I've talked to her down there for a project we're doing. And she could maybe help you out. So I checked in a couple weeks later and she still hadn't done it. She hadn't had time to check in. So we're 0 for 2 on that, maybe 0 for 3 on that right now, the town help on it. So it may be up to us to figure it out and then come up with something that's going to cost some money and then people take an interest.
I was going to say I did some research and found a couple of sort of build it yourself. So I guess that was going to be the question, was in terms of whether we wanted to try to host the information pages on the town's website, or if we want to just set up our own website under the project name. It can be done fairly inexpensively, but there is a cost. So I guess if we could get onto the town's website and then actually have a webmaster, that would probably be the better option. But there are ways to go ahead and build it, and it explains, their services that will take you through it. And then the tags are anywhere from $10 to $30 per tag.
Yeah, I guess it's the hosting fee that kind of alarms me as far as, a lot of these places you get one tag and they have, or maybe two tags to be hosted, and it's $10, $20 a month. And we're talking a big number of tags probably. So I would hope.
Yeah, and we could pay Amazon hosting at probably like $2 or $3 a month.
For how many of them? Do you remember?
Oh, you build your own website.
It's just for the site.
Oh, okay, that's for the site. Okay, all right. Well, that's not too bad. Then we just buy the tags.
Yeah, so as long as it's not expansive, I think you get like I want to say like 5 gigs of data at the lowest. And then it goes up from there.
Yeah, now I was reading, they have two types of tags. They've got the dynamic QR code and the static QR code. And I think what we're looking for was something that what can be updated or added to or changed, which would have been under the dynamic one. And it seems to make a difference on their hosting prices. I don't know about Amazon, but these other ones I've looked at. Did you see any differentiation there? Are we able to have, I know you got a gig size there. I don't know what that would entail as far as any videos, if people had a short video or something.
I didn't. I can take a look.
All right, why don't we see what these people have found out here, our honorable veterans.
All right, well, we found that Silver Lake High School doesn't respond to requests for getting in touch with their IT people. Well, they don't have an IT, they have a science technology person. And 2 weeks ago, I went in, knocked on the door and left my name, and there has been no follow-up on that.
Did they let you in?
I got as far as the front door.
Okay, well, they're doing their job then.
Yeah, I did not get in.
Yeah,
So, that was all under the the way it should be, but, so when you're talking in terms of 5 gigs of, data, that's a huge, huge amount of, data that can be consumed on that. Do you have any feel for the number of graves that you might be looking for?
oh, we were just guessing at about 100, right to start with. It would be it would be a program, starting with the famous people that we have, and the famous veterans, the Revolutionary War soldiers, the Civil War soldiers would come in and we'd fill them in as we go, and then we'd expand from there. So that 5 gigs, I guess, was for everything. Or just, it's not per marker.
No.
No.
If somebody's got that kind of biography,
No.
that's
No, the
typically-
only time that we could bump up against that was if we got really fancy and we're embedding like videos or interviews or things that are kind of heavy data use. If it's just going to be maybe a few photographs, as well as a narrative biography, that shouldn't be very much at all, and 5 gigs should be more than enough.
Okay,
Yeah, that would seem more than adequate. Well, one of the ways of, I sent Dave a note on kind of the broad brush of, what the whole thing might entail. Subject to lots of review, criticism, and improvement upon my thoughts. Trust me, I don't know enough about it I know enough only to get in trouble. So we would have a QR code outside for our monument or our memorial. And then at each site in town. Now, whether you take that one that's on our monument or memorial and use that as somewhat similar and go to this town's website. And then you would, push, click on a drop-down menu and you go, you're at the Jones River Bridge. And then because that's one of the sites that when we march on Memorial Day, we stop and give a narrative there as far as what it was significance, to the town and the military. So you have those drop-down menus and then it goes on. So then you go to the next place and there would be another drop-down menu that you'd be able to access and telling you about that site. I think we've all seen drop-down menus, and used them for a number of different things. And sometimes it can be intimidating and cumbersome, and other times it can be, nice. But that would be something that would be easy to incorporate into the town's website, I believe. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I believe as far as being able to go along in that area. And the most difficult part would be that we could get our aspect of just the town sites and have that, I think, be up and running very, very quickly once we decide to go and you start finding the people that can do it for you and draw the links and show the narrative and stuff like that. The grave part of it would probably be a huge ongoing project because, like you said, found another one, and then you have to develop the story to it. So I would think, say a year from now, we would have all our part of it done. And then with whatever the funds left over to, given the fact if we're capable of using them at all, I'm not completely conversant as how we would be able to access them and how the project could be continued as our Veterans Memorial Project that still had ongoing items that we were completing. I guess that would be the way to take a look at it. And I think that, the cemetery portion of it, given the fact that we're honoring veterans with our memorial, I think is a very significant part of it. And I think we would like to support it as well as we can. Now, can we? The other part I come to is that if we get to a point where we can't do it, we could use the vehicle that perhaps we use for our Veterans Memorial and go looking for free cash, go to the town meeting and get the funds required for it, because that was a very effective vehicle for us.
Okay. How many monuments are you looking to, monuments and graves are you looking to?
There are 6 sites.
Just 6 sites? Okay. No particular graves or anything, it's just, we'd be kind of doing that with you.
The Powder House, the Civil War, Dave's house on Landing Road.
That's Vietnam/Korea. Then there's a World War I, there's a World War II.
Plus Jones River Bridge, which I think that was partially in part for the free.
So some of the programs that I was looking at, you can actually like plug into Google Maps to design walking tours. So you would be able to like plot them out and stuff, and then you could have like a walking tour map on the town site, or you could print them out and have them available at the library if you wanted, or put a PDF on. But the spots on the map line up with each of the QR codes in each of the sites.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, the walking tour would be great.
And it's a relatively small walking tour. I mean, when you start out up at the top of the hill by the Cancun and you work on down here, it's got to be 1.25 miles at the most, something on that order.
Walking tour, that's like the walking tour. We're looking at.
Tom would be all over that. Yes.
Space
Yeah.
age now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same way with you with the website, and it goes to a page, and then we host little pages within, because apparently on these QR codes, it really just directs you to a link, and the link takes you someplace, and it can take you to an individual spot, it can take you to a main web page like you have, and then you go ahead and go down a drop down menu to find what you need. I think that's kind of a pain, especially, well, I don't know with graves, but in fact, we're trying to change that with our walking tour at Mass Maritime. Get away from one that just takes you to the main page, then you go, oh, there's more, I want to see what's there. So if we can do it that way, that I prefer that way. Rather than just have a list of everybody that's on our, in the graveyard that's on the QR codes, we might have 100 people. So,
The other kind of
Okay.
cool thing about QR codes is people can't resist scanning them with their phones.
right,
So if somebody happened to see one, it's, you know, if they scan it, it takes them right into when it is, and then they can view around it.
yeah. So, the question is, they talk about a landing pages in all this talk here, and whether you need a landing page, what the heck's a landing page compared to your web page? And I think there's a difference, but I'm not sure. So we still have to find out, but that's probably the best way to go. And if it's something like $3 a month, we can take that out of our budget, probably our minimum budget here. They upped it this year, $500 every year. So we could even pay that, or, you know, that could become we'll just add it to our budget each year and have them, they'll probably approve that if it's for something as worthy as this. So what do you want to do next? We can go some more on this and research some more here. And I'll hit up my IT VP tomorrow. I'll see her tomorrow, but, and then we'll try to get the town to commit to whether they can, if that's the way we go, they host it.
But we have to go to like the Board of Selectmen and work down the chain of command as far as that goes, as far as getting them to go along with the concept of going on to the town website and stuff like that. I believe Hickey had said at one point in time that, you know, that would be a landing spot for us to work with.
Mhm.
He's not here, so let's commit him to it.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about too much of it. You know, we find out who's in charge of the thing and find out what we have to do then. I don't think we have to go from top down to
Yeah, so,
ask too many questions.
We put stuff on ours and, you just go to Jen.
Yeah.
Because she can approve and disapprove depending on what it is and stuff. And
Yeah.
they can put links. I know they can definitely put links on.
Mhm.
Whether they can post a whole site, that's what we just need to check.
We'll see, when you say host a whole site, is that different from having a page? Your links to a page on the town
Well,
website?
it depends on if you're just putting everything on that site and running it right there, or if you're just gonna do like a QR code or a line just to link to it, then we'll bring you to a separate page. That would hopefully be the $3 a month or whatever that we commit to.
At Amazon, it would be at Amazon.
Amazon or whatever, yeah.
Let me ask you another question. So how long a story do you think each gravesite would have? I know they're gonna be different and stuff like that. But would it be something where you can come up with a printout right at that gravesite of that person, rather than going with the QR code and going and you know, this was Joe Blow. He served in the Civil War. He was with the 32nd Regiment of the 104th Artillery, you know, whatever.
Mhm.
And fought in the battles, this, that, and the next thing, and go on the description of that person's service to the community and to the country. Rather than turning around and having a QR code that would take him direct someplace else. So that you'd have a direct story of each one.
How would they get that direct story in the print without the QR code?
I'm talking about having placard at each, you know,
Oh,
so kind of written narrative. Now, if it gets to be, you know, for some people that, or for some individuals, that would be quite burdensome. But for many of them, I'm sure it's a relatively short story.
mhm. I don't know. So we don't have to go luck with the
Yeah.
Marcus
I know
over there at the
Tom
cemetery.
knows a little bit more about it, but a lot of the problem is the fading of the sun and stuff, and you can't read them after so long. And the QR codes are gonna be easy to replace. That was part of his biggest thing he was talking about. We were initially talking about putting some plaques down and stuff. And what we're finding, unless you have them like professionally done, and which is usually expensive and engraved or something, they will fade over time, and those will have to be replaced. But the QR
Could
codes
be a
are
maintenance
easier
problem,
to replace.
especially with weed whackers, mowers,
Good point.
you know, it's, yeah, just the flag holders alone, don't stand up so well to the maintenance in the summertime.
And some of the obituaries, you can see having a lot of information. Well, I say obituaries, but you know, the old ones won't be obituaries, but they'll be write-ups. Tom's done a tremendous amount of research on a lot of our town fathers. And out there, we have a number of graves that we have almost a book of information on these people. So that's the stuff we kind of want to have out there to people have access to through this. So they're not videos, but there's going to be a lot of information on
Okay,
some.
so then, you know, that shoots a hole right in what I was talking about, you know, so that, it was an idea, it's dead.
No, that's
Bury that one.
way to go. All right. So it looks like we could investigate this some more, this Amazon thing. See if we can get how much it's gonna cost to host. We can talk to Jenna again, see if she's got my IT person, talk to her. And I'll talk down there too to see how much work it is to host this thing at the town, basically, ourselves.
So, and would this somewhat tie into the 300 book, 300 anniversary book? I mean,
Really see
in a
it.
broad sense?
What do you mean? Like put these people in the book?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be up to the book. We're not the book people.
Unfortunately, there are two big book people that
Yeah.
are here tonight, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not,
there's
it's not.
3 members of the book committee and 2
Oh,
of them.
actually, Lynn, are you still involved with that somewhat? Do you know what their aspect towards the veterans and stuff are gonna be for that book?
Then,
I mean, they're including sort of vignettes that are submitted from everyone, but I don't think that there's like a specific focus. So there may be some discussion of it.
But we have someone here that is interested in working on the 300-year book.
really?
I was
Yeah.
just interested in the concept. I thought it seemed like something.
Well, good. You hear that, Lynn? Are you still working with it? Lynn,
Yes, on the side.
you're still working with the book?
Yes.
Okay. So then it was
Linda, Regasta.
Linda Regasta. She's interested in joining up with the group.
Okay.
Possibly.
Possibly, possibly.
I'd
Yeah, no, that's great.
like to find out more for sure.
While we're at it, I'm gonna throw out a pitch too. I'm the chair of the 300th committee, which is separate from the book, but we did put a slot aside for a veteran representative on the committee. So if anybody on your committee, or if you know any other veteran that's interested in being on it, we meet the third Wednesday of the month at 4:30. We'd love to have a veteran sit on the committee.
Yeah, good idea.
Outside of that, for the tonight, what
Yeah.
else can we do?
Not much. It's an idea. Somehow we need to galvanize the forces that are available and resources within the town. And you know, as I told the receptionist or the gatekeepers at the high school, that you know, we're interested in doing it and, you know, possibly incorporating some hotshot kids who know how to write code and do that kind of stuff. And it'd be particularly great if they were Eagles or an Eagle Scout program where this would be their project. You know, writing code is better than pounding nails. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much code we're gonna have to do for this, but certainly there'll be some work there.
But you know, they know how to set everything up and stuff like that. And so tomorrow I will go back to the high school and get shot off by the and this probably is not a good time, given the fact that everybody's going to be on the mentality this is a holiday or a school off week, you know, a vacation week. I'll give it a try. If I'm successful, fantastic. If not, I'll go back the next week.
And I can do something about this. Not down at school, but oh, we talked to these people here, see how they're doing over in Cohasset. See what they're doing and how many they've done and what that's costing them, who they went through. So we'll do that. And we can meet up again at our next meeting. Good luck.
Hopefully they have a little bit more meat to tear off the bone.
Yeah. Maybe we will. All right. Well, thank you very much for doing all your work. How are we doing out here?
Excellent,
I mean, schedule wise,
excellent.
yeah?
We were just working on that today.
Hopefully Memorial Day is,
So
I don't want to say completion, but it's a.
yeah, essentially, the granite probably will be ready to ship up here the second or third week in April. At that point in time, we will have hopefully had the pads that the granite, the monuments are going to be placed upon, or the granite pieces. And there will be some site work that will have been done in preparation for that. Soon as that, and they say that they think it would take them 6 hours to put the granite pieces in place, which is not a horribly burdensome amount of time. And then the concrete work will come in and the patio work, and we've got some sounds that we have some tremendous cooperation from some local companies that are going to be very friendly to us price wise.
Great.
Hopefully that all works out. And I think before tonight, they're working on accepting some gifts from some of the,
They did accept them.
they did accept them.
Yeah, the selectmen did vote to accept the gifts.
All right, so that, so one of them, Joe Kasna, is interested in helping. Len
Warner.
Warner. And we're looking at another concrete company and stuff like that. So we're in good shape.
Mhm.
And,
Sounds-
and we've just found out too, that one of the landscaping people that we had been working with, their prices come down because they misunderstood what we were actually looking for. And, about $20,000 less than what they originally had looked at.
Good.
So, yeah, I think we're on track, and when it starts, I think it's gonna go rather quickly. And that first piece of granite that gets laid out there, that's gonna be beautiful, and that's gonna be create quite a stir, I think, in town for all the people that drive past it.
Good enough.
But that's just my opinion.
All right, well, thank you.
You.
And do you oh, I can't remember your name.
Linda.
Linda. Should be able to remember that. So how are we gonna get you in touch with the book group?
Well, I have this, so I can get in touch with who, Ken Brack.
Yeah,
Ken
he's,
Betty.
that'll be a good one. Yeah,
I can email them.
yeah, that'll work.
I'm interested.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
cool.
Thank you, guys. Time for the Marines to go to bed.
Thank you.
See you guys. See you back in this room sometime. Have a good night. Bye.
All right. Okay, we've got a few other things to do. Shouldn't take too long. There's a letter that the first parish committee is that's a draft. If this is approved, you can take care of that one. Request us to write a letter of recommendation for a grant they're applying for Mass Historic Commission. 50/50 grant to help replace their roof. Their roof was damaged in one of the windstorms recently. So I drafted a letter. Tom's looked at it. He thinks it's okay. So if we're in agreement to, write this letter, we're not doing anything except to recommend that MHC approve the grant. Then we could vote on it. Do you have any thoughts about this? Any concerns or? Lynn?
Nothing on my end, no.
Okay,
You want that back? I think that's very good, and yeah, I wholeheartedly support it. I know they definitely have damage up there. I've seen the shingles and the.
So then we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we
To write a
approve
draft a letter and
the
that
letter of
letter.
support.
letter of support for
Second.
the First Parish Committee. Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
and Lynn, okay.
Thank you for doing that.
Well, it's not. The ZBA sent over a request for comments, request for review. Kind of funny because I got it on the 16th. And MLK Day was the 15th, and it said it was delivered to the department on the 14th, which was a Sunday. So I don't know how they did that, but anyways, it's just funny with the dates. But this is about at was it Country Club? Country Club Way, right? Over there in Pond Estates. They're building a new storage facility for their golf carts and all that stuff. There's some sort of brouhaha going on amongst the owners. They have to build a new place. And it's going to be in the site, if you know where you go up. What's the road that goes to Indian Pond?
Country Club Way.
Is that the road right there? Yeah. Go up that road and you come to the T and the clubhouse, right ahead, take a left and you go down just a short way. There's like a dirt block there.
Mhm.
And that's where they're going to build this new house or whatever. It's kind of like, what's the plot plan? Country Club Way comes in here.
Yeah,
It's going to be over here.
okay.
And I don't think it has anything to do with us. That area is, it was a golf course, but that area may not have been turned over much, but it is kind of a scrappy dirt lot. You can have a picture of it here.
You see it, John?
I know the.
Okay.
This is a picture of the lot. Sorry, Lynn, you can't. you
That's
can't
quite
see.
all right.
So unless you know of anything going on there that we should be aware of archaeologically, I don't know if it's all been disturbed, but it's pretty, where it is and everything. I don't think we have much to be
Can't
worried
imagine
about.
there's anything there.
So I'm gonna send this over to them if we don't really have any comment. All right. Then we've got a budget statement from the accountant. And it's kind of interesting to going through it for a couple of reasons, but
Are we rich?
what?
I said, are we rich?
Well, actually, we're richer than I thought, but I wouldn't say
That's
rich.
always good news.
Yeah, so at least we're not poorer than we thought. They have down here that the under our account, they have special article, which is the $3,500 the book committee got from town meetings last year. Remember that with Sampson Fund money?
Simpson, yes.
Yeah, $3,500. That's under our account. So I have to
Yeah, that's.
let them know it's not supposed to be there. There's another one in here too that I've got to find out about, a $5,500 one. I think that's a leftover. I think that's the one left over from our survey, and we're going to use that for printing. I'm going to verify what that amount was there. But we do still have $500 in the budget for historical projects. So if we have, if you have like a $10 a month fee for hosting or whatever, if we have to do that, there is a way for us to do that through our budget, but
And that $500 needs to be spent by July 1st.
Yeah.
Well, the end of June.
yeah. And well, it's more than that. There's almost $1,000 in there. Dues, and actually we got to pay dues coming up on any PC. There's travel expenses, office supplies, and historical projects. I think they added in. I didn't ask for that, but they added that in. And postage, so it's almost $1,000 in there that we have utilized. So that was that. So I'll let them know about that 3,500. They'll have to set up a new account for the book department. Civil War grave update?
So I did, end up speaking with all the companies I asked for quotes. I did receive 2 quotes so far, and the other company will be getting one in the next few days. They had a personal matter and they got delayed. So I will have those 3 quotes for our next meeting.
Okay, I'm surprised that group in Plymouth hasn't answered.
I did end up speaking to them, and that's the one that got delayed, so they will be getting us one.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there anything on the book that we know about? Except, what was it? It's coming out soon. You mentioned something that was gonna happen soon with the book. Anyways. Lynn, anything on the book you want to tell us about? Top secret or what?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Anniversary committee?
And we have not had another meeting since our last meeting, so I had our last updates and all we have.
Okay. And, but you're short of members and
We are,
you're
yes.
still, the at-large people too.
Yes, at large, and some of we still need a Native American representative, a representative from the business community, a representative from the school community. So there are still several that we're looking to add.
Who do we have that could be a Native American representative?
I don't know, but I'm going to be, checking with, like Plymouth Patuxent and stuff and see if anyone that's involved with that is willing to do it.
They don't have to be in town, right? It could be Plymouth.
I think for that, I was told they don't, because it's a representative of the thing, they don't have to be Kingston resident, yes.
Melissa, who's the head, is awesome. Did you try to get a hold of her?
Down at Plymouth Patuxent? Or which one do you see? I can't remember her name. I spoke with,
South
whoever's
Plymouth.
down in Plymouth. I spoke with the tribal leader and she, didn't have anyone available, but I want to say that they're down, in the Taunton area. So I was gonna try with Plymouth and see if there's anyone that's interested.
Right? All right, CPC.
Has not, actually CPC has not met since our last meeting, but we actually meet, I want to say it's like March 2nd or March 3rd to review applications. But there is, did you get a letter from Tricia or Brian or somebody regarding the Hall property? That's the only thing, the $8,000 or something like that.
That's what we're talking.
Okay, I thought you were looking for an update on other things, but there's nothing.
You can't see an application.
You know, I wanted in the worst way to do something last minute and I understand, well, no.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I understand in Plymouth, they've postponed, not either postponed applications until later in the year, their process. They had some type of a delay built into their process for CPC. So I guess it's possible to do that, but Kingston CPC is moving forward with the applications and the deadline was a hard deadline.
Wow, that's good they keep it. It's not,
Yeah. And you know, there's always the possibility of thinking if CPC would entertain an application maybe for a fall town meeting.
Yeah.
It's always a possibility. We can
I
think
think
about
they
that.
said they would. In the future, they were looking.
Yeah.
Taking applications
As a
all
matter
year.
of fact, last year, they decided at the public hearing, no, they would not take anything for the fall town meeting. But it's escaped me right now. I want to say it was something from rec put in last year for the fall town meeting. And I believe it was accepted and approved at the for CPC funds in the fall town meeting, and I don't even remember what that project was. Might have been ball field, some drainage or something down at the Obashinsky Fields. But it's something to think about. I'll let you know what the feeling is for possibly going forward, maybe this fall or something.
All right. Well, we have $8,800 or $8,800.76 in this one account they've been holding on to, basically for a sign over there at Hall property. And I looked back on the articles to make sure that they do comply with, a sign would comply with the original intent of the money, and it does. Both the interpretive materials can be created for signage on the site explaining its significance with displays exhibited and artifacts stored at the Adams Center. So it's more or less for the sign that we're hoping to put in over there. And apparently, Conscom put in a sign there, and they did use the Native Americans to design it. And so it's with their blessing that that sign's there, and contains the information they want to be seen there. So we don't really have a need to put a sign over there anymore. The only thing, we were talking about doing with this before was to have Pal create that book for us, that book like they did for their another similar property in Connecticut. And it's an informative book that really shows what went on at the site, basically what the Native Americans did in that area. Now, we were getting into a hornet's nest there with I wouldn't say a hornet's nest, but they started to raise all sorts of issues about, what can we put in, what can't we put in? Do the Native Americans want us to do that stuff? Does do other people want that information out there? Or is it dangerous to put that stuff in a book that people can see? Doesn't really say where things are out there, but it does have information, So I mean and I got a couple quotes from Pal on it, for printing up a number of copies, and they were above the $8,800 bit. The alternative would be just to have them develop something that you can print up yourself. It would be a design, the booklet form, but in PDF, so to speak. And we could use that whenever we wanted to. But this kind of fell by the wayside when we started getting into issues with the tribe. It wasn't with them. It was people talking about, the tribe may not like that, or the tribe may not like this. And we'd have to be careful what we put in. So if we want, that would be the only thing.
I think they were afraid people are going to show up and free dig.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I guess
they can do it anyway.
Do it anyway, and it's kind of more or less showing the artifacts that were taken out, and talking about them and talking about general life there, and there were illustrations of how some of these encampments were. It was a pretty good book, I thought, and it didn't say, this is where this is buried, and this is where this is buried. Just that whole general area, So
no, I'm in favor of the idea. I like it.
Well, then the issue is, what would you do with it? Are you going to put it at the library? You're going to put it up, if you print it up, if you have it developed, which we probably could for this money, are you going to have it online? I mean, you could put it online.
I was just going to say, maybe we can put it on like a historical commission, put it with like the QR codes, and maybe have like a little online library.
Yeah, I mean, they could put a QR code over on their sign over there, and then people could look up more information on it. So that's what this is. I think it wouldn't be too much work on our part to have the book made. Pal would do the work. We'd have to get another quote from them and just say, okay, we just want the PDF so we can print it up when we want to, or the issue is to find out, you know, is this gonna fly with the Native Americans and the tribe here? So we can show them the other book and say, look, this is what we're thinking of doing with all property. But the people that did it, show you know, the artifacts that are possible to show the public. And,
Is that the Herring Pond Wampanoag tribe?
I don't know that tribe, to tell you the truth. I don't know.
I just
Why?
wasn't sure whose lands those were.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it get down that specific?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
There's, I think, well, so the Herring Pond Wampanoag tribe was the tribe that was in Plymouth, South Plymouth, and on to Cape Cod as far as the Mashpee. And then the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe had the rest of Cape Cod and southeastern Mass.
all right. So,
It's probably likely herring.
who's on that? How do you find them?
So I actually was going to say the woman at who's the chief of the Herring Pond tribe, Melissa Ferretti, is fantastic. I got in touch with her during um, Native American month, and she gave a lecture on the history of the Herring Pond Wampanoag tribe to our like our office. So she's, you know, very, very interested in interacting. So John, I actually was going to say she's who you should
That's
reach
actually,
out
once you
to.
said the last name, that's actually who I got a hold of. So she had no one at the time, but said to contact her again. And I contacted her about 3 months ago and didn't hear a response.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that they're like super busy right now because they're working on application for federal recognition, but
Okay, so you know her?
I do.
So if I got you a copy of this booklet as a sample,
Yep.
and you approached her and asked her if this is something that would be appropriate to have made up for our site over the whole property, can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dave's shaking his head because, you know, we're still gonna hold on to this money another year. But this would be a project that could be done pretty quick. It's not gonna be a long-term project.
Do you want me to just verbally notify them at the meeting, or did you want?
When's your meeting?
It's
Seventh,
beginning
right?
of,
March 7th?
yeah, it's early in March, I'm not sure. Yeah, might be the seventh.
I'll write him a letter. So,
You'll write them a letter?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so let me know.
and I'll just back that up at the meeting. Oh, actually, that's the public, no, it's not the public hearing. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna
Is it the public hearing?
attend our next CPC meeting.
Yes, it is
March
the
7th.
public hearing. Oh, they're asking you to attend if you want to extend the money.
Mhm, mhm.
I thought that was actually the public hearing, but no, it must still be review of applications. I thought we had completed that. But anyways, yes, I will convey that we want to hold on to the money. If you wanted to send them something in writing, and I'll just back it up.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. All right, well, I'll send that to you, Lynn. So you can get that over to her. I'll send you a, you know, electronic copy.
Perfect.
Okay, all right. Next item. Oh, so the secretary in the email, I'm trying to get Ken to take over this email for the town because once again, it's made it difficult to do anything. Used to get the emails through the KHC at Kingston, Mass. It'll be forwarded to my email at home and I get emails. And it stopped and I found out, oh, they changed the whole system. Now it's through Outlook and my computer, it's got software on there from my academy. And so my Microsoft is with them and you can't use this with that. So Ken was going to take over the duties. He is the secretary. He was going to get the email from now on. But I had the stuff for him tonight, but he's not here, so we'll put that off the next meeting or when I see him across the street. Anything else tonight, Dave?
I do not.
No?
Just
John?
gonna ask real quick, and I may have to ask Tom, I'm sure, with the historical walking tour we had,
Mhm.
did that incur any costs other than to make up a brochure?
No.
No, okay.
But this brings up a thing about tonight with this QR code thing. You know, if you had a walking tour, you could have, you know, basically just a map with a tour and everything's got the QR code and you just walk around with it, you know? And, so you just need a little mount like those stands.
Yep.
People will probably steal them off though.
Yeah.
Fix them there, but you could put them out on special days. And watch, I don't know, modern times.
Yep.
Why were you asking?
Because we're developing the, historical slash, cemetery walking tour for the 300 committee. And
Oh,
we're trying to get a preliminary budget so we can request funds from the state.
really? A walking tour through the cemetery.
Tom wanted to include that too, yeah. So we'll have the historic homes and businesses, and then it'll be the cemetery portion.
The Evergreen?
For the old.
Burying ground.
Yes.
All right. Lynn, you got anything?
No, nothing. But I think if we're gonna do it, we should do everything like all at once. Rather than having like individual walking tours.
Well, I guess that's good for everything if we can do it. But they are two really kind of separate independent things.
Yeah.
You know, one's very just spot on as the cemetery and the other one is all around that area, walking around, but I guess you could if it's a QR code type thing.
Yeah. I think Tom's interest was doing like, himself and a few other people doing tours and being a guide.
Mhm.
So that was more of what the 300 was incorporating into. For that, the walking tour.
Oh, that's, yeah, okay.
Tom
Okay.
doing guided tours of the cemetery.
All right.
I was just thinking, we're gonna have like these grave sites covered with QR codes
Yeah,
from
no.
various people doing walking tours.
Oh, you know, oh well. What happened in the cemeteries? Oh, that girl, she was sitting on a big stone, this was about a month ago. And the stone tipped over on her and it crushed her
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
And this is crazy, it was a huge, well, I say huge, it was a big granite like marker.
Yeah, it wasn't in Kingston.
Oh, was it?
No,
Yeah,
not
no,
here.
no.
It's like up in Newbury or something. And then there was something else at Newburyport. We were talking about something tonight and they were doing it up in Newburyport. God, well, doesn't matter. Let me just see if I've got,
Yeah, they make it sound like it's the cemetery's fault that the girl was playing on
yeah,
the stones and it
Yeah.
tipped over.
you
and
should have taken,
Probably looking for a big payday, where the kid was, where they shouldn't have belonged.
no, that's all I've got too. So,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
well, Tom's
Oh.
not here, so maybe what you
I-
thinking of something else?
No, I was just gonna say, our next meeting is going to be on our regular schedule. Meeting night, right?
That's it.
Um,
What's the date on
I
that?
don't know.
Well, I have to look. What's the date? Second Wednesday.
13th of March.
When's the Ides of March? What date's that? What day is the Ides of March? 15th? Lynn, you should know that.
I thought it was the 12th.
Beware. Anyways,
So it's 3:13, John?
Yes.
so right now, oh geez. Yeah, I'll be home. Yeah. Yeah, the April one I was here. You guys work alone. Oh, yep, Ken says he's in meeting.
It's March 15th.
Yeah, beware the Ides of March. Okay, well, thank you very much. We had a motion to adjourn here, right?
Second.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.